quite enjoy the new.
You can hold.
Oh, okay. So, I always thought that Snoke was going to end up being, do you want me to look at the camera?
If you want, yeah.
I always thought that Snoke was going to be Palpatine in disguise, or some sort of clone or anything like that. I was one of the first people to figure that out. Can't believe anyone else didn't figure that out. Bloody morons. So, it was a funny thing, no one actually picked up in the original that Anakin only killed the younglings because one of the younglings called him Master Skywalker. And of course that angered him, obviously, because he never got the rank of Master. He was just gonna help them get out of there until that guy decided to call him that. Obviously, Anakin thought he was going to beat Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan had actually beat a Sith Lord using the high ground. So Anakin believed that the high ground wasn't even that good. So he believed.
When you're ready.
He could just jump over him just like his master Obi-Wan. Obviously, Obi-Wan, being the master of the high ground, knew that this was going to happen, and that's basically why he was defeated in such a manner on Mustafar, leaving him to be burnt and disfigured, later become the Darth Vader that we all know, asthmatic freak that was basically the Emperor's lapdog. This new game forced the Jedi Fallen Order gives us an insight on how how the Jedi were able to escape Order 66 as it was happening. It was valuable insight for the community dedicated to Star Wars. Follows a Jedi youngling that escaped Order 66 called Cal Kestis. He basically just hid out and was a mechanic till later his force sensitivity was discovered by the Empire, leading to them trying to kill him. Then led to him being escaped. I'm a bit of a gamer myself. I quite enjoy, you know, the classics, such as Call of Duty. Played basically every Call of Duty. All the Battlefields, basically. I was quite big into the shooters and all that when I was young. Had people coming over because it was just simple, you know, like Halo, Call of Duty, just simple. Get into the game, just split screen it. Obviously, you know, you had some screen cheaters, but that was just the fun of it. Not like these days where we have, you know, internet, where we can all just, you know, one screen it. But I suppose in a way that's kind of like the best way to do things. Kind of prevents cheating, but it just takes away from that connection.
Hey, stop. 2 seconds. One sec, mate. You ready? Hi.
Learns new abilities and remembers the old abilities, including a new force ability that no one's seen, where he's able to run on walls, leading to some pretty good platforming. Let's see. something interesting that would have made the new sequels even better at the end would have been the original three, Luke, Leia, and Han, all dying in the end to bring back the last Skywalker being Ben Solo. But unfortunately that didn't end up being like that, and we ended up getting the last Palpatine being Rey, surviving that whole encounter, even though she became a adopted Skywalker and ended up renouncing her identity as a Palpatine. However, we may get some more Skywalkers or Palpatines, or even a new Sith Lord Jedi battle later on, depending on how things go with Lucasfilms and Disney. Funny thing about the Jedi crystals, or the lightsaber crystals, they all have a relative meaning. Blue is iconic with the Jedi Guardians, and basically what it means is that they prefer to use combat such as lightsaber fighting styles and all that in encounters, whereas green is more of a Jedi counselor kind of thing, where they believe Force abilities are more preferable, including in use of talks and negotiations with hostile people. We have a relatively new one, Orange, which we found in the last Return of the Skywalker thing, where Rey ends up getting it, and she decides that she's going to be a Jedi, use the crystal that we don't know where she got it from yet, but she ended up using a couple of her staff parts to make the lightsaber that we see. Orange is more indicative to people being pure, so you can either be pure dark or pure light. It doesn't really matter, it just means that that's what you are if you have an orange. Normally, this being said, that's why we don't see orange too much, because they're always very confident and often don't believe that they need to even bring out their lightsaber. Obviously, because it's also super rare, they don't want to bring too much attention to themselves. Purple is basically, it used to be a mixture .
Yeah. Yeah. When you're ready, I am. When you're ready. Whenever you're ready. When you're ready. When you're ready.
I kind of got into acting way back when I was young. Just basically mimicking anything I saw on TV. You know, superheroes, comedic people. You know, things like your movies from Marvel, grown-ups, all kind of things like that. I was into, and always mimicked them. Then I hit a patch where I decided that I'd focus on what I was doing in school. But then I always seemed to just come back to messing around, basically acting with a bunch of my friends, to the point where we were shooting short films together, doing fights, sketches, all of that. We uploaded a few to the internet before taking them down. Other ones we got sent to the HSC markers for our high school certificates. But then after all that, I kind of just thought acting, that was fun, something interesting to do.
Right. Hang on. So
I kept at it, looked online, found a pretty cool way for actors and directors and other producers to get in touch. So obviously I signed up for that. Had a bunch of offers. Some I ended up not getting. A couple I did video auditions for. A couple I did actual auditions, like face-to-face auditions to. Something that I felt passionate about. Something that I felt, given time, could make a lot of money. Be a definite way of life. I always felt like I was destined for something greater than just doing a 9-to-5 job. I wanted my face to be out there. I wanted people to know who I was.
okay. Ready? When you're ready.
This is to the Illuminati. Fuck you.
Whenever you're ready. Oh, hang on. No. Hang on. Alright, when you're ready.
I quite enjoy doing the Assassin's Creed. Played almost every single Assassin's Creed. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. I quite enjoyed 4 because I'm a big pirate fan. You know, all the ships, all the blood, all the fighting and stuff. Really gets my blood pumping, you know. I played most of the earlier ones.
When you're ready.
I played a lot of the earlier ones more for the you know, fan theories, how the Creed, all of that kind of came to be. You know, from Altair right through Ezio, all of that. It was you know, quite exhilarating. The first one I ever had was the first one, Voltaire. I quite enjoyed. That's what got my love of the game into me. That's why I bought the other ones. Moving on from that, I quite enjoy, Rockstar games, GTA, Red Dead Redemption. They've always been good. I've quite enjoyed them, especially Red Dead Redemption 2. Love that. Love the realism, but still making sure it's a game, so it's not too real and puts too much pressure on the player. It's always fun running around with a gun, robbing people, stealing horses. It's always fun. Obviously, can't do that in real life, even if I want to. But, that lets me vent my frustration for humanity, out on the non-real NPCs. Same thing with GTA, except for a modern setting. I often, play through them and think, geez, how great would it be to get all that money and just have it. Just have it. Have my own house. Have a sweet car. Just make it. It feels good. It feels so good. That was it. Video games was an escape for me, and I'm sure lots of other gamers feel that way. From reality, they can, vent off their anger or live their most greatest fantasies. That's why most people, especially me, go towards more Skyrim and role-playing kind of things, just for the role-playing aspects of it, realism, but not. Makes you, wonder, how it would have been to carry a sword, do magic, shoot some guy from across the road.
When you're ready. Alright. Alright. Keep going, man.
First thing I ever played video games on was this shit-ass potato computer that we had, that my parents had. So we had a couple, Lego racing games. Me and my family would just play them for hours. Eventually, made friends with a couple of people at school that had PlayStation 2s. So obviously I had to have one. So me and my brother convinced my mum to get us one, and we basically played that thing till it exploded. Then came the era of Xbox 360, to which, obviously we needed to have. Took us about a year or two to finally convince mum to get it. The funny thing was, the moment that we got it, they decided to bring out the next Xbox and the next PlayStation. So now we were a generation behind, but that didn't bother me too much. It meant that the games that we were getting were as cheap as dirt, basically. So exactly what we needed. Being a Povo family, not much money except for the quick little allowance that we get. After I had about that 360 for years, until probably year 10 of high school. Then I started working, and I really needed to. The one thing I wanted to do was make sure that I could afford to have my car and keep my addiction with video games. So I kept on saving and saving and saving up to the point where I felt like I needed another job, just to make sure I got there quicker. So I got another job. By that point, I had been able to save up enough money to buy myself Xbox One. So me and one of my mates decided we'd take the day off school to go do this CD deal at the bottom of the escalators in our local shopping mall. It was literally, it looked like a drug deal gone bad. We were standing there in hoodies up, just shuffling around next to each other. People were walking past us, giving us weird looks. Well, we knew what we were doing. Person showed up, handed me the bag that had the stuff in it. I straight into it, looking through it, making sure everything was there. Handed over the $250, the $250 we had, and we just booked it. It was literally, I reckon, I was convinced that the police were going to show up at our doorstep because they thought we'd done a drug deal or something. But I didn't care. I was too thrilled to let it get home and play some Xbox One. Obviously, I had spent all my money on getting the console, so I had no money for games. But luckily, I had one game that was cross-platform, so I managed to be able to play that while I saved up to get Red Dead Redemption 2, to which I played like 3 times before finally being able to get another game. But things are going good. Graduated school, now I've got way more money. Play games to my heart's content while I wait to do my next shift. I'm definitely keen for the next generation of consoles. Definitely can't wait to see where things are going. I'm kind of really hoping to
When you're ready, man. I am.
take it, please. My offering to you, please. Please, feed it.
When you're ready.
Why did you make me do this? I didn't want to do this. Why? Why you always make me? You know this one simple rule. Stop making me mad. Please. Look how much fun we're having. See? Look how much fun. in the world. Yeah.
When you're ready.
Camping.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd always been camping, you know, outside, all that stuff. None of that. None of that pussy stuff where you're supposed to stay in a camping spot or whatever. Now I'm talking real camping out in the wilderness. You know, where bloody drop bears can jump on your head. And, you know, you box a kangaroo every 2 seconds. You know, I'm talking like not in a caravan, but like in a flimsy ass tent with walls paper thin. You know, anything can get to you. But we didn't care. We just go out there, do whatever. You know, set up a campfire, roast some stuff on it. You know, sometimes we wouldn't even bring food. We get food wherever we could, you know. Go find some berries. Go catch a bloody lizard, bite his head off. Go fishing. All that kind of stuff, you know, real nature stuff. You know, back to primal stuff, you know. You know, no cooking equipment, just, you know, rub a few sticks together, there's your bloody fire, have a good time. You know, we'd go out with friends, family, all that kind of stuff. We'd been doing that since before I could walk. You know, have a bath, you know, little bucket, you know, cramped up like that, and a little bit of water, you know, bar soap. Basically prison, but you enjoyed it. So we would, you know, barely tell anyone we were going. Only the real, like, you know, mum and dad, hey, we're gonna go out that way. If we don't come back in a couple of survive, you know, what animals to avoid, what food to eat. Haven't done that in a long time though, naturally because I've been busy, but you know, it'd be good to get back to that sort of stuff, to get back to nature, kind of like what I'm, you know, doing out here, doing my own thing, you know, living the life, really. I just can't seem to understand why people would want to live in such cramped areas. You know, they always say, why so open?
I can't. Oh, God. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. You know, you find a creek or something, big rock, you just jump off that big rock into the bloody water. You wouldn't even really care about whether it was shallow enough. You know, you'd find that out when you came back up and your leg was broken. So, you know, I can't tell you how many times I got injured doing silly things like this, but like, just something that you did. You know, never really wrote us. Obviously, you know, the law seems to think otherwise. Been chased a few times, but know, you just keep running, they'll never catch you, really. I always enjoy coming out here, getting the fresh air, have the wind blow in my face. You know, it really...
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. Had a special place that I like to go. Had a whole, like, my name carved into this tree. It was kind of like my special tree. You know, we'd go out there, hang out. The problem was it wasn't like a big enough tree to have like a tree fort or anything like that. Not that I looked around, I couldn't find anywhere else. So that was a shame. I kind of missed out on that when I was young, never made a tree fort. But I feel like I made up for it with like just being outside, doing whatever. A lot of people I knew, their classification of a holiday was, let's all get on this huge boat and like get pissed and float around.
1 second. What?